I've got a brand new bank switching deal to share with you, and this time it is the return of an offer from Nationwide. And unlike the last time this one ran, it is not limited just to existing Nationwide customers. Anyone can get this, new and existing members of the Building Society. And this one starts on the 25th of September 2024. We don't yet have an end date for this one, so it could run for months and months and months and months, or it could go in no time at all. So if you are eligible for this one, and I'll take you through who is eligible and what you need to do in a second, then I wouldn't necessarily hang around. I would get moving on it sooner rather than later. Now, I have got a full analysis going everything I'm talking about right now and more details and all the links you might need over at becleverwithyourcash.com. So head over there after you get through all of this for more information. But I'm going to take you through bit by bit, as I said. So 175, that is how much this switch is worth. That's a little bit less than the previous offers, which were 200 quid. Now, a bit disappointing, but that seems to be kind of more and more where the banks are going right now. Most of the offers have been below 175 for a while now. Doesn't mean we won't see anyone else come back with 200 quid. Doesn't mean we won't see Nationwide potentially doing 200 quid again in the future. But I would say if you're holding out for it, you think, oh no, I'll wait and see if they do it again, you might be disappointed. So maybe just grab this one while you can. Now, what I really like about the Nationwide switch is that nobody else does, is that £175 switch isn't just for one account. You can actually get it twice. You can get it for your personal account and for a joint account. So if you're a couple and you've not done any of these switches before, that's potentially 3 switches, 3 times 175, so 525 quid could be yours from all this switching. And if you have done one of the switches before, perhaps you've already switched a personal account but not a joint account, or vice versa, then you can do this other one again now. But sadly, if you have taken advantage of any Nationwide switching offers in the past, or at least since the 18th of August 2021, when they first started bringing back this kind of this type of incentive, you will not be able to get it again on that account. But again, if you've only had it on one, on your personal and not your joint, or joint and not personal, you still be eligible to get an extra payment on the other one. So how do you get this one? What do you need to do? Well, first of all, you need to open up or already have one of 3 different Nationwide accounts. There's the Flex Plus, the FlexDirect, and the Flex account. Now, I'll take you through a little bit more information about those different accounts later on, but they're one of the 3 accounts. Either open it up, brand new, or already have one. Once you've got that account, you then need to switch, as you do with all these switching promotions, via the current account switching service. Now, what that means is it is a full switch, which will close the old account you are switching from. That will be gone completely. If you do a partial switch or anything, it won't work. It's be a full switch via CAS. And you have to do that via the online banking or your app or the Nationwide website. You can't do it on the phone or in the branch. If you do those things, it won't count. You also have to have started the switch after the 25th of September or from the 25th of September 2024. If you're already midway through a switch, sadly, you won't count for the offer. It has to start after this date. Now, as part of the switch, it is slightly more to do than you previously have had to do with Nationwide switches. One thing that hasn't changed is you do have to transfer 2 active direct debits from the old account that you're switching from. Now, active is always one of these things with a bit of a grey area. What does that actually mean? And in the terms and conditions, it does say the Nationwide say an active one is one that is showing on the old account. I always like to make sure that it also means that it's been paid, just to be doubly sure. You'd probably be fine not to, but if you can, it's already been paid from the old account, then that is going to be guaranteed you're going to get their money as long as you meet the other criteria as well. But yeah, 2 active direct debits on the old account you are switching from. Now, don't forget, if you don't have any of these already set up on your old account, there are some ones you can set up pretty quick, pretty fast. And I've covered that in more detail in a separate video on YouTube and a separate article over on Be Clever With Your Cash. And also there is it covered in the podcast as well. So take you through those quick and easy direct debits that you can set up really soon and get them through and paid and active on the account, because some of the normal direct debits, if you set up again, they might take a month to set up. What else you have to do? Well, you have to, this is the new bit, deposit £1,000 into the account within 31 days. That money doesn't have to be in one go. It doesn't have to stay there, but you have to have cumulatively £1,000 added to that account in that time. You also need to make another new thing here, 1 debit card transaction within 31 days. Now, You could hack this potentially, as I've shared with you guys before, for things like the nationwide rewards, sorry, the Halifax rewards promo, or the TSB switching offer recently. Different ways you can hack that spending, but it's one transaction. There's no minimum, so just go to the supermarket, buy yourself a banana, whatever it might be, something you normally spend money on, and that bit is done as well. Just do it within the month. This all has to be done. The switch has to happen within 28 days. Okay, so you can choose your dates. You've got to make sure it happens within 28 days of that happening. So 28 days for the switch, 31 days for depositing the £1,000 and making one debit card transaction. If you do all of that, then the payment will be made within 10 days of the switch completing. So relatively simple thing to do there, relatively easy to go through all those bits and pieces. And again, I reiterate this, all this counts whether you're a new or existing customer. The same things have to happen. So again, existing customer, you will have to put £1,000 into your existing account in that time. You'll also have to use your debit card at least once. Okay, it's not just for newbies, it's existing customers as well. That's the switch. So which account should you go for out of those 3 different options? Well, there have been some changes that are worth highlighting for you here. The most basic one here, the most simple one to do, is the Flex account. That's their standard, bog standard account. And if you do that, you've got the account, you don't have to do anything else. And if you're not interested in sticking with Nationwide for any reason, that's probably the one to go for. The next one is the FlexDirect, and this is where are some big changes that have happened. This one has an extra offer for the first 12 months of the account when you have it, and it's only the first time you have it. So if you've had the FlexDirect in the past, you won't get these extra perks. The one that's been around for a long time is 5% interest on up to £1,500 in the account itself. So that is a very decent rate, particularly when you consider how much rates have been falling over recent months. To get 5% on £1,500 is great. Anything above £1,000, you get nothing. And after a year, that rate drops down to 1%, which isn't very good. So really, this is just think about it for 1 year. But that is still, if you put a full £1,500 in there, an extra 75 quid you'll get after 12 months, which is really nice little extra. Where this has changed is it used to previously also give you the, instead of the savings interest, give you a 0% overdraft, which was really handy for those people who had a really hefty amount in debt. You get this for 12 months, say you've got £1,000 or more on the overdraft, it will give you time to pay it off without the high interest. That has been scrapped. But in its place has come 1% cashback on your debit card spending for 12 months. Now, this sounds exciting, it sounds good. And if you are going to use this account as your main account, then that is a really nice extra feature. But that is capped at £5 a month. And if you guys follow what I talk about regularly, you'll know you can get better than that. The Chase debit card, for example, gives you the same 1% cashback every month, but that's capped at £15. So you could potentially get 3 times the amount of money over the year. Or the Amex Nectar card, again, 2 Nectar points for every £1 you spend, which is the equivalent of 1%, fee-free in the first year. So again, no cap there at all. So it sounds great to get this 1% cash back, but I think really for most people, it's not going to be much of a goer. You're better off, getting this Nationwide FlexDirect. If you want to, whack in up to £1,500 in there, just keeping it as a separate savings account and do most of your spending and payments elsewhere. In order to trigger that 5% interest and 1% cashback, you do have to continue paying £1,000 into the account every single month, but nothing else. So for example, if you've switched over, those 2 direct debits you switched over, you can cancel them straight away once you've got that money if you wish. The third account to consider is the Flex Plus, and this is the packaged account that comes with insurance, travel insurance, mobile phone insurance, and breakdown cover. Now this one is going to go up from December from £13 a month to £18 a month, which is really quite a hike there. At £13 a month, I thought it wasn't too bad a deal. At £18, it's quite a lot of money. It might work out better if you do need those things, but you might find a better packaged account elsewhere out there. So I probably wouldn't be going for that one. Out of the 3, if you're eligible FlexDirect because you've not had it before and you can get that 5% interest, I'd possibly go for that. If you're not bothered about any of those things, I'd go for the Flex account. So there you go. That is the latest switching offer from Nationwide and details of those changes to that FlexDirect account. You have more information about all of these over at becleverwithyourcash.com. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.